Give me my theme music! What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I am your host, Russ Dornish, and we have got a lot to talk about. I wasn't sure if we were going to have a show today because there's just not a ton to talk about, and then in the matter of just a short while, there was. Of course, for those of you that don't know and didn't see the news already, Brian Howell of the Daily Camera of Boulder, Colorado, has put out there that it looks like Marshall Faulk will be joining the staff as the head running backs coach for Colorado. This is the guy I was talking about last week on stream that I didn't want to mention just yet because it wasn't official. Seeing that Brian Howell is now actually putting it out there officially as a news source, figured we can actually now discuss and talk about it. I want to go through the reasonings for why this just made sense, why this has been coming down the pipeline. In fact, I think that Coach Prime and Marshall Faulk have kind of had this agreement, and the team has had this agreement for quite a while. It hasn't just been recently, all of a sudden this week. It's been going on for a while. It again goes back to the fact that Coach Prime's not going anywhere right now. He is not going to take an NFL job at this point. He's put too much into Colorado at this point. Do I see him in the future eventually jumping to the NFL and trying to coach his kids? Absolutely. I do think that's going to happen. When that happens, most likely probably a couple years away, if we're being honest, but he's going to be in the conversation each and every year, and we're just going to have to get used to it. But I want to break that down. On top of that, the article that Brian Howell also revealed another coaching update within it that nobody is talking about unless you've opened up the article and read it yourself. And it's something that makes sense to me, especially with some stuff that we've learned this week. I want to go through all of that as well. And lastly, there is some really big implications that happened this week under the radar when it came to the NCAA. And again, how they're going to police all of these rule changes. And the big answer to that, just to give you guys a clue, is they can't. It's looking worse and worse every day that things are just going to get crazier and crazier when it comes to college football. And unless somebody or something steps up and takes control of the situation, i.e. putting it into a semi-pro type league where we have contracts and agreements and things like that in place, if we don't get that very, very soon, some really, really bad things are going to happen, and it's not going to be the college football that we all love and want to watch. Trust me, we'll talk about that here in just a moment as well. Let's go ahead and do a big shout out to the rest of the chat really quick in here. Of course, we've got coming in, huge pickup. Welcome in, Shirley, for this Saturday. We got the flex going on. Rob the man, this been in play for months exactly, and I'm going to talk about where the clues have been for you guys now that it's public so that you guys can see that if you guys pay attention to this program enough, you guys can see everything that's happening on the surface. You don't have to be an insider to know what's been going on and what's happening. It's all right in front of you, but we'll talk about that as well. Rob is absolutely right. So that's 3 gold jackets on staff. Yep. And we could very well see more in the future. Not saying that there is anybody out there, but with Coach Prime's connections and with what he's trying to build here, I could see this being a jumping off platform for a lot of coaches. We'll talk about that as well. Prime, Sap, Faulk, we might have to start suiting up our coaching staff on game day. You're not wrong there, Joe. Is Faulk 100% confirmed? I would say that Brian Howell confirming it publicly is probably the closest you're going to get from the team officially announcing it until Coach Faulk is at practice. Just so you know, and like Rob said just a few moments ago, this has been in the works for a very long time. So the facts that this is actually becoming public knowledge through one of the actual media members tied to the team tells you everything you need to know that this is happening, guys. This is what's going to be happening on staff. Jamel Scobus from New York City, welcome in again. Jones 2, welcome in. The Marshall Faulk from the OG Rams, that's right. The Hall of Fame running back Marshall Faulk is going to be on the staff. What's up, Russ, man? Marshall Faulk. Oh, wow, he was my favorite running back. What an awesome hire. Agreed. He's probably everybody's. I had a Rams jersey with Marshall Faulk on it. I love that Rams team, the greatest show on turf back in the day. If anybody can be a really good running backs coach, it's going to be him. But guess what? He's not going to have to do this alone. It makes the Tommy Robinson promotion to assistant running backs coach that much more important. You got a guy who's been doing it for decades as a coach, and then you've got one of the greatest running backs to ever play the game. Together, they are going to be able to really go after this running back room, make it better. Not to mention, who doesn't want to come to Colorado and play for Marshall Faulk now at this point? It's not just about playing for Prime. It's about playing for one of the greatest running backs of all time on staff. So absolutely. Fake news, hearing this nowhere else. Antoine, you're missing out, okay? Let's go ahead and jump into it since you think this is fake news. Okay, right here. Brian Howell of the Daily Camera in Boulder, the newspaper. He is the Buffs beat reporter directly tied to the team, has officially put it out there that Marshall Faulk is the leading candidate to take over the job. And I will just let you know, as Rob said, as I said, this has been in the works for weeks, if not months. And the fact that it's now becoming public officially through the newspaper is your information of why that is happening now. Okay, guys, this is official information coming directly from Brian Howell of the Daily Camera, but it's been going on behind the scenes, and we'll talk about where that has been. Absolutely. Big Teasy in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Breaking news, Californians are moving to Denver, Colorado now, going virally because of the fires, lower taxes, never have to rebuild all over again. I know this keeps coming up. You guys do realize that Colorado has fires too, right? I mean, literally last summer, there was a fire very close to Boulder that a lot of people had to evacuate their houses for as well. Just saying, it'd be interesting that that's the reason they're coming to Colorado. They're coming to Colorado for a lot of different reasons, and Californians have been moving to Colorado for decades, okay? As a Colorado native myself, I have seen firsthand how in the last 30 years, it's been constant pouring in from California to Colorado prior to this. Happy Saturday, East Coast Kev. Yep, this is all happening, guys. Coffee for my guy, always bringing the heat. Thank you, Big Teasy. Appreciate you coming in on this Saturday. Lots of fun and great things to go. It is absolutely on, Ronald, right now, 100%. Don't let Colorado get infinity jackets. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that's great news for Colorado, but has he ever coached before? No, he hasn't. Warren Sapp didn't coach either, and we've seen how great he's been. This isn't an OC. This isn't a DC position. Being a position coach is going to be fine. On top of that, guys, we've got Tommy Robinson on staff, who is an OG running backs coach that is a legend to college football. So it's not like Marshall Faulk is just going to be alone in this. No, he is getting firsthand tutoring on the job with the ability to share his information. Not only that, he's been trying to get into coaching for quite some time. Mike, yep, Coach Prime building a very powerful team. Very, very powerful team. Yeah, he needs to apologize if he's still here. He probably clicked on the video, said fake news, and jumped away. We'll see. But it's there. It's there. So when is Ed Reed coming? Just kidding. That's my point. We very well could see that happen more and more as a stepping stone for these guys to get into coaching for the first time. That is 100% what we could see. Who knows? Ed Reed just took a job as a high school coach. Not sure if he wants to come yet or what that looks like. There's other guys that we could see if they really want to coach and want to start out somewhere. Why would Ed Reed come to see you when Rob Livingston is the safeties coach? That's where, okay, don't give a damn. That's where all of this is coming into play, guys. The rule changes last year by the NCAA allowing unlimited coaches on the staff and on the field coaching means that you can create whatever position you want for anybody to coach. Rob Livingston is the DC. Yes, he's coaching the safeties too, but do you think he has all the time in the world to not step aside a little bit and be like an assistant, or to hire an assistant safeties coach that could then, be in charge of the safeties more or less, and Rob can focus on the DC role? There's a lot of things and moving parts to this, which is going to bring me to my second point here in just a second once we get through this chat, guys. Yeah, unruly. That's a great way to put it. It is the Avengers assembling all the time. All the time. CU is never boring with Coach Prime. I'm telling you, as a content creator, as a guy that gets to communicate with you guys, it's unbelievable what we're able to do, honestly, because there's constant news. Exactly. Tommy Robinson by himself would have been a great promotion to head running backs coach. The fact that we're getting both of them is absolutely perfect and the smartest move by Coach Prime. 100-fold, okay? 100-fold. Sorry then I hadn't heard, but I'm stoked. I'm telling you, I'm not going to report on anything unless I've got firsthand out there. I don't want to break news, by the way, here. That's never going to be my role. I don't want to be that person. So it's going to be based off of what DNVR says, what a Denver Post says, what the Daily Camera says, what Adam Munster Tiger says. They're the guys on the beat. They will bring the breaking news. We will just discuss it here as a group. Terrell Owens is around a lot. Another gold jacket guy helping out 100%. And the thing with him, I don't think he wants to be on staff, but the fact that he can just be around and come and go as he pleases, I think he likes that. And I think he'll continue to do that, guys. He'll continue to do that. So that's another gold jacket that's around the program, helping out, coaching up the guys on a regular basis. So really 4 guys around the program. But yeah, Rob's being looked at by other college teams. He will. I think he's staying around at least one more year, guys. He'll be here at least one more year. He's not going to leave just yet. What's up, buddy? Welcome back in. Glad you're here for the live show. Hopefully we can recruit some very good running backs now, like running back Tyrese Wadgett from the 2026 class. CU might have to change from the Buffs to the gold jackets. I mean, CU is gold. There's a reason that we're black and gold, baby, and that's because we bring the gold jackets now. Okay, we bring the gold jackets. We bring the Heisman. What else do you want except for gold when you come to Colorado and Boulder? Yep, that is I don't care. As you can see here right on the screen, it is being reported by Brian Howell. It's been in the works for quite a long time, guys. This edition of Marshall Faulk means they are definitely running the football. Yep. Little do people know, Marshall's been around the team during the past season. Yes, and I will talk about that. He has been in and out of the program quietly. He has been near the program more here in the offseason, and once it looked like Coach Flea was on his way out, that is when they asked Marshall Faulk to take the next step to go up. So that's where we're at. Rick is going to give Coach Prime the money. Rick wants to win now. And I want to talk about this really quick before we get into the Marshall Faulk news. I want to talk about the news that I've seen from plenty of people that Coach Prime approached the AD asking for more money, was met with hesitation, and that's why Coach Prime is leaving. So let me ask you this. If you go to your boss and you say, hey, boss, I want a massive raise right now, is he going to say right away most of the time yes? Or is he going to say, well, we're going to have to see what we can do. I have to go get the money. It's not there, but I got to go get it. That is hesitation. It's not a absolutely yes, 100%. Here's more money. Rick George wants to give Coach Prime every resource that he wants. He wants to give him every dollar that they possibly have. The problem is there's only so much money that is there right now. He will have to go and get this money. He has to go and prove. He has to go get it approved by the board. He has to do all these different things that are red tape that he can't just say, yes, 100%, take it, leave it. Okay, that's why when the report comes out that, he was met with hesitation from the AD on the money that he wants, it's because there's hesitation because they have to go get it. They can't just say, yep, go for it. Here's an empty checkbook, go for it, when there's not money there to go for it with. One thing I want to really point out here today that has been going around throughout the week, I saw one CU fan just going absolutely nuts on Twitter being like, well, there's the CU of old. We're not going to give Coach Prime what he wants, blah, blah, blah. It's not that we can't give him what he wants. It's that we can't give him what he wants right now. We need to now push for that because he's asked for it. He continues to prove time and time again what he's able to do with this money, bringing in Marshall Faulk now, okay? Bringing in the other coaches that he's brought in and what he's been able to do, bringing in the players, bringing in the wins, increasing the revenue. By the way, we are the first week of February is when Colorado will release its fiscal report for the 2023 year. They're always a year behind when it comes to financial reporting. I will do an entire show on the financial reporting when it comes out because I have a finance background. I know how financial reports and annual fiscal year reports look like. We can dive into what that means and what to expect. I know a lot of people this time last year talked about the fiscal report that was released. However, the negative amount that the athletic department produced that year was not because of Coach Prime, because it only included the first 5 months of Coach Prime's coaching tenure. It also included the buyout of Carl Durrell's contract. Plus, if you really dove in deep, the basketball team and football team were both profitable. It's the non-revenue sports that are never profitable. They're always having to be held up by the revenue of the other sports. We'll go through that to talk about what that looks like. My guess is that Coach Prime is going to bring in a lot more revenue from the previous year because of that first year and what he was able to do. And that's only going to increase once the next year's financial review comes out and this past season is on the books. So it's always a year behind. So it's going to be Coach Prime's first year coaching. That report will be released the first week of February by the University of Colorado. So be on the lookout for that. I will be covering that and we'll cover how that affects everything. Okay, one of, if not the most versatile running backs of all time with a very high football IQ. Marshall is a big win for CU. Let's keep going down real quick. But wait, isn't Coach Prime going to the Cowboys? I love it. I love it, East Coast Kev. Prime is staying. He hasn't responded to nothing because it's still in the works. He's staying because he's staying. He's going to get a new contract, guys. It's happening. He's going to get that security. The school's going to have that security that they'll be in a good place even when he does leave. Will Coach Prime eventually leave? Yes. Is it this year? No. Is it next year? Probably not. My guess, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, of when Coach Prime leaves at this point is I think that Shedeur goes to the NFL, plays out his rookie deal, and once that's done, then Coach Prime goes and coaches in the NFL where he can go coach his son. I think that works out for everybody involved. I think that sets CU up for the long haul. It also sets Coach Prime and Colorado up to fulfill their promises to the kids in the program. You got to remember one thing, and I've heard so many times this week about the fact that, oh, Coach Prime's just doing what he did to Jackson to Colorado. There's a little bit of a difference there, okay? When he left Jackson, he could take those players with him to Colorado. He could take his coaches with him to Colorado. When Coach Prime goes to the NFL, the chances of him, one, he can't take the players with him. So where are they going to go? Other programs, they're all going to disperse. It's going to be a mess. It's not fair to the players at that point because they have nowhere to go. Some of them may not have places to go that, you know, some of the other higher name players would. And then on top of that, his coaching staff, not a lot of those guys will have to make the jump to the NFL or will be able to make the jump to the NFL with him. So they're left behind as well. There's a lot more to it than just a simple, yeah, I want to go, I'm going to leave and, you know, forget everything else. There's a lot of moving parts that nobody is talking about. They're all doing this and having this conversation based off of feelings, based off of what they want to see happen. When you have the analysts saying that Coach Prime is going to the Cowboys, it is based off of what they want to see happen, not what can actually happen when you really look deep down. Now, could it? Is it 100% a absolute foregone conclusion that it could have never happened? No. But if you really look at all of the moving pieces, it's way too hard for it to happen this season and for Coach Prime to be in a situation that works out well for him. So that's why it wasn't going to happen. Yep, and here's the other piece of news that was in that article if you guys didn't see. In fact, George Hegeman and Gunnar White are not the co-assistant offensive line coaches. They have been officially named the head offensive line coaches and will share those duties. Now, this makes sense when it comes to Matt McChesney and what he talked about this week, guys. I know a lot of people wanted Matt McChesney to be the head offensive line coach, but if you listen to Matt's show this week and he talked about what he discussed with Coach Prime was not necessarily becoming the head offensive line coach, was to become some kind of staff member on staff. And they were going to work towards figuring out what that position looked like. And there was a couple reasons. Matt said on his show that he does not want to give up his gym. He does not want to give up his life in Denver, his life with his kid. He does not want to do all that. And unfortunately, being a head offensive line coach in Boulder would mean that Matt would be in Boulder 24/7 coaching, especially when it came to the season. He needs the flexibility that being a different staff member and an agreement with Coach Prime would bring, rather than a full-time offensive line head coach for the team. So it makes sense that with Matt having a second conversation with the team yesterday, which he did say on the podcast that he was doing, that they would just go ahead and say, you know what, George Hegeman, Gunnar White, you guys will be in charge. And Matt, we're going to figure out another position for you on staff to help with recruiting, to help with training, to help with the trenches, to do a bunch of different things. But we're going to create a position for you because, again, the NCAA ruled that there can be an unlimited number of staff members. So Coach Prime can just make up positions and make up titles and job requirements and fill that for what Coach Prime needs to be. And what Matt needs to be on staff. Okay, so that is what's happening. That's the other big piece of information here that happened in the article that Brian Howell talked about. It was the last paragraph saying that they are, in fact, the head offensive line co-coaches instead of assistants. So they have officially been moved up there, which tells me also that Matt is going to be taking on another role in the team, and they're going to go forward with that staff formation. So everybody needs to realize that right there. Yeah, Board of Regents have to approve coaches' salaries. They also have to approve extensions. They have to approve raises. All of that has to go through a ton of red tape. It's not just, something there. People don't realize how much people rely upon Coach Prime in Colorado for daily content to pay their bills. They'll make a story out of anything to make money. Are we talking about what we're talking about right now? Because it's 100% true. Okay. CU still needs donors willing to add money to NIL. We have to continue to get NIL. We do. We have to continue to get it. Here, CU is looking for a baseball coach. Is there any truth to that? Yeah. So Rob has it. There's a club baseball team. They're not official NCAA. They're a club baseball team. They very well could be looking for a coach, but that's because it's a club team and there's very little benefit to coaching for it, minus the fact that you just love the sport. So that's where that's at. East Coast Kev, appreciate you coming in. Prime will be taken care of. Do y'all see that house in Boulder? They're loaded with cash up there. Prime is straight. He's good. Guys, he will be getting his contract and he will be getting it soon. Again, there is a ton of red tape. This isn't a simple contract that they're putting together. It's got to work out for both sides. It's got to make sense for both sides. They've got to make sure they have the money. They can't just say, yeah, we'll pay you whatever you want. We'll pay you $50 million a year. Do we have $50 million a year? Not saying that's what he wants or what he's going to get, guys. I'm just throwing that out there as an example of we can't just magically make it happen. There's a lot of moving pieces to this. Okay, a lot of moving pieces, and so they're going back and forth right now with it. Larry, that's a nice pickup. Coach Prime said his ultimate goal is to eventually have a baseball team. He would love to have that and create that because that brings in more recruits, guys. Brings in more recruits. Matt can work as a consultant. He can work as a consultant, an analyst. It's going to bring me to my final point of the show here in a little bit, guys. Just hang in here with me because there is something a lot more to that. Absolutely. 12 billionaires live in Colorado, one in Boulder. There's definitely money there. Not to mention, you guys, not a lot of people talk about the, the alumni of Colorado. Okay. There are a lot of big money alumni attached to Colorado that just have not been attached to the school in a long time because of what has happened to the school. And for a while there, just so you guys know, before Coach Prime came in, we had a board of regents and a president of the school who was a little bit more focused on making Boulder seem like Yale or Harvard. They wanted it to be more of an academic institution than a football school like we were back in the 90s and early 2000s. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out like they thought, and bringing in Coach Prime was the experiment to say, okay, what happens when we go back to that football school mentality? Well, Boulder's seen it. The economy is booming again. Not saying that it isn't, by the way. Boulder is one of the best economies in Colorado. Just FYI, guys. It wasn't that Coach Prime all of a sudden resuscitated it, but he did put him in steroids and blew that thing up beyond belief. So that is absolutely part of it. We need to get more money, and it's going to start happening, guys. Seeing moves like this where you get a Marshall Faulk on the coaching staff, seeing moves where you're bringing Matt McChesney back in and what he's going to be able to do with recruiting locally and nationally in the trenches, it is just a continuation of this build towards what Coach Prime wants to see, which is a successful, nationally recognized, nationally successful playoff team year in and year out. Okay? That is what the goal is here. What's up, Northside? Appreciate you dropping in. We've got over 1,000 people watching right now. That is a new record for the show. Actually, no, I think the record was the big commitment night, but we're up there. So make sure you guys are pushing that like button while you're here. It's free. It supports the channel. It supports the video. I appreciate it, each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for that. Coach Prime has said that he wants to retire in Boulder. Let's trust what Coach Prime has said already. He has no reason to go anywhere else, okay? Maybe the NFL to coach his sons at some point, but if I'm a betting man and I would also be a recommendation, Coach Prime should let his kids go do their thing for a little bit, okay? Keep doing your thing in Boulder, rock it out, let your kids go and do their thing, and in a couple years, if you want to jump to the NFL, then great. You'll have Colorado set up for success, and my guess is that one of Coach Prime's friends will be in place to take over after him. So it won't be like Colorado will be completely left out in the cold. We could see another player similar to Coach Prime taking over the program as the head coach. It would only make sense. That's what I'm honestly seeing and would be the best thing for Boulder and Colorado altogether. What position do you think Matt would be? I could see a consultant, an analyst, anything like that that would allow him to still do his job on the side. My only worry and my question would be, what would that be towards NCAA compliance if he is still coaching high schoolers but also on staff in some way or another? I don't know how that looks, and I think that's what they're working on right now to figure out what that would need to be. Okay? Right on, Rush. Just got the message of Marshall Faulk joining the Buffs. Appreciate you, E. Todd. Thank you for coming in. Put him in the recruiting team, and that's what he's going to be a big part of, guys. He's already said that on his podcast, that recruiting would be a big part of this, that he would be going hard for those trenches. Now everyone believes, but when we told y'all that early this week, y'all didn't want to hear that, just listen, stop talking, listening, we're good. 100% Coach Dre. We were not worried over here. We were not worried. CU club baseball teams better than a lot of D1 programs. They beat a lot of top programs, a lot of baseball talent in Colorado. We love baseball in the state. As bad as the Rockies are, guys, Colorado loves baseball. So the fact that we don't have a Division I baseball program anywhere in the state is kind of sad. We need to get that going. We really do. It would be really dope if we could get Big Matt as the O-line coach. He's not going to be the O-line coach, Corey. I think he's going to be some kind of consultant, analyst, whatever that looks like. Alum of CU are huge. They are. I mean, you got to think about the tech companies that are in Colorado, guys. We've got Lockheed Martin in Colorado. That's going to bring a lot of eyes and money. Jeremy Bloom, who is that ex-CU alum that was really instrumental in bringing Coach Prime here, he has a lot of money, guys. His company has a lot of money, and trust me, he's going to be investing in the team, and there are many, many more after that. For instance, I want to say Bill Gates or somebody like that, their kid goes to CU right now. I can't remember who it is, one of the top billionaires in the world. Their kids go to CU. So it's not like the connection isn't there. It is there. Matt could be an off-site coach. Yeah, I don't know what the announcement would be or what the title would be. He'll be an analyst tasked with installing O-line schemes, breaking down film. That would make sense, 100%. People need to understand the differentiation between the nil and the collective. Correct. Appreciate you, Larry. Boulder is the top 1% of real estate prices in the country and has been for 10 plus years. Yeah, Boulder is not new to being expensive, guys, and it just continues to get more expensive. 100%. Shiloh will be undrafted free agent. Yeah, I mean, he could go anywhere, but I also mean Travis, too. Think about it. Travis could wait until his contract is up and go sign to play with Prime at one location. There's no stopping you after that fifth-year option, right? There's no stopping you. I mean, I guess franchise tag. I kind of forgot about that. We'll have to see what happens come then. No other program will give him the keys to the kingdom like CU has. I mean, if there's a school that will do it, who? On top of that, what will be the difference from what he has right here? Money would be the only thing, but we're continuing to build that money up. So does he need to jump ship and start anew and have kids transfer and, you know, get rid of a coaching staff and move locations? Is it worth it at this point? Is it worth it? What's up? Great info on the Buffs. I thought it would have been LT, but he's a darn good substitute. They should have baseball at the university. Yeah, it's been Marshall Faulk all along, guys. It's been Marshall Faulk all along. Since we've caught up, I want to go through right now why it's been Marshall Faulk all along. As Rob said, this has been in play for a long time. So a couple different things that I want to point out to you guys really quick. Okay? Really quick. Not only, obviously, the news today, there's this news from back in 2021. So when I started hearing the Marshall Faulk rumblings a couple weeks ago, I started just Googling Marshall Faulk coaching just to see, has he had interest? Like, has it happened before? I know he hasn't coached, but what does he want? Well, back in 2021, he almost became the Southern University head coach. We don't know why it fell through. If you look through the articles, it sounded like a deal was in place and it was going to get done, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there was nothing. So he wanted to be a coach at some point. He wants to be in the university level, okay? Obviously, it didn't work out. It hasn't worked out up to this point. So what's the best option? Go be on staff somewhere so you can get your foot in the door of being a college coach. Great. Best friends with Coach Prime. Obviously, they work together. That's another connection there. Here's another thing that I noticed when I started Googling a couple weeks ago. When I searched Marshall Faulk coach, the funniest thing came up, but one of the pregame network videos came up from a few weeks back talking about Marshall Faulk visits CU. I thought that to be a little bit interesting and funny at the time when I started to search this. Something that I don't think a lot of us paid attention to. I didn't pay attention to the moment that video popped in. But why would Marshall Faulk come and visit Colorado during the offseason? That is right there to tell you that that was probably the moment that they met, talked about him being on staff officially, and that started to go through. So it's been in the works. If you've been around and noticing things, searching Marshall Faulk, seeing his ties and connections, what he's been up to right now, what he wants to do, and obviously coming to Boulder, guys, coming to Boulder to visit in the offseason, a little bit weird. Not tied with the NFL Network anymore. He left that quite a while ago, got let go from that. So to see this and to see the fact that he was in Boulder, again, it just lines up with all of the timeline of what's been going on and what's happening. It's been there right in front of us, guys. It's been there right in front of us. The board wouldn't sign off at Southern. Okay, so Rob, it's another case of Ed Reed syndrome where these guys are ready to go and these schools just don't want to give them the keys to the kingdom. Which, again, great point, too. That's why Coach Prime coming to Colorado and being given the keys to a Power 4 program is such a big deal, guys. It is such a big deal. It does not happen every day, and it's starting to open up the doors to others. I don't think Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson get their jobs at their schools right now if Coach Prime wasn't succeeding on the level that he was. Other schools are going to try and find the next Prime, and other lower level schools and schools that are not the blue bloods of the country are going to take chances on these guys because they believe that they can turn programs around, and we're seeing that happen. So the fact that Marshall Faulk is now in the fold as a running backs coach, you've got Warren Sapp on staff, and yes, don't worry, Warren Sapp is still on staff. He is just on his vacation. He was representative of the Hall of Fame at the Buccaneers playoff game. He's going to be doing that stuff here in the offseason. And by the way, we're not even doing on-the-field stuff right now. He doesn't need to be back to Colorado until March, April, when spring season truly starts. It's just strength and conditioning workouts right now, guys. Let's see what else we got. Only one LT, and he played linebacker. That would have been good. That's true. That's not why Coach Flea had health issues. Please don't be disrespectful. Yeah, Coach Flea having some health issues, that's probably the biggest reason he's not on staff anymore, guys. Okay, it's not that Coach Prime fired him. He's been having some health issues. We hope that he gets better. We hope that if he gets better and wants to come back and be a part of the staff, then absolutely. It is not a performance thing, guys. We're not going to spread that rumor, okay? We're not going to spread that rumor. What's going on? Just subscribed, as Coach Prime would say, they think they're going to get what we already got. They think they get what we got. I absolutely love that meme. Every time, guys, every time, whether it was Julian Lewis, I was playing that constantly. Anybody like that, Jordan Seaton, it just works so often. How many Hall of Famers are on staff? That would be 3 officially. 4 if you include that Terrell Owens is constantly around the program. I mean, constantly on a weekly basis, he is coming into Boulder to check out the team and help out in ways. Yeah. It's the NIL era. Schools want guys like Faulk. They will, but he's coming here first. USC just hired Rob Ryan as an analyst. That's a smart move again, too. Let's not forget that Coach Prime came to a football program that had to totally rebuild from the bottom up. Yeah, we're in the end of year 2, going into year 3 of a complete tear-down rebuild. I mean, we tore down to the studs. There was nothing left on this team. Let's be honest, okay? Guys that came from the program before Coach Prime are gone at this point. Okay, your Hankerson, Trevor Woods is gone now. Those guys left. We had nothing left. We're starting back at 0, and Coach Prime is building from scratch. That never happens. That never happens in the history of college football, unless you're talking about a completely brand new school that has decided to start football for the first time. So the fact that we're where we are is that much bigger. I don't care what people say. The Big 12 is weak. 9-4, 9-3 in that conference. That's still terrible. Oh my gosh. It's where we started, guys. We are way ahead of schedule. Coach Prime is absolutely murdering it when it comes to how good he is doing with Colorado, and people need to realize that 100%. Praying for Flea. That's your opinion, but again, that's where we're at. If y'all listen to Prime, he told you he had to do this because they were trying to keep this guy out of coaching, and now they can't. Prime effect is real. It is. It's trickling down. The Prime effect is trickling down everywhere, guys. Everywhere. Tommy Robinson, more important hire with over 20 years of experience. Yeah, deals. That's the whole point. It allows the option to hire Marshall Faulk. Okay? The ability to hire Marshall Faulk comes because we have a Tommy Robinson on staff. So for anybody out there that's like, oh, I don't know if he can coach, he has no experience, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Tommy Robinson has enough experience that he can help Marshall Faulk become an even better running backs coach. It's also why Warren Sapp is so good at what he does, because he's doing it in conjunction with a Damian Lewis who has been coaching in the NFL, in the college game for a lot longer. So the two of them can now team up and be even better coaches. So the NCAA removing the rule of a cap on coaches on staff and on the field is what allows Colorado and Coach Prime to take advantage of this and build up one of the best coaching staffs in the entire country. Okay? In the entire country. What's good, bro? All they have to do is listen. Russ, are you making a straw man? Nobody's doubting Prime or the Buffs. Oh, I'm not saying you guys are. I'm saying the outside people. I'm saying the fans from other schools. I'm saying teams across the country. I'm saying people in the media. Not you guys. Absolutely not. We definitely believe in Coach Prime and we understand. But the people who want to see him fail is really who I'm talking about. We'll still need to find a good running back in the portal. Hey, the second portal is coming, and you don't think there's not a running back out there who's on a smaller team who's really good, who's seeing Marshall Faulk on staff and not saying, wow, I want to go play for Coach Prime and Coach Faulk. Like, really? That's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. I can only imagine the running backs that are reading this news. The second transfer portal could possibly net something we don't even know about a running back in that area. I'll go back to what we talked about when the offseason first started, guys. Remember when I said, and remember when I had Phillip Dukes on, okay? What did Dukes say? There are guys on teams that have not entered the portal that will be coming to Colorado. You don't think that part of that was because of who he knew and who a lot of us knew was coming on staff at Colorado? All of this stuff has been in place for months, weeks. There is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Okay? And they will come to light as time goes on. So to not say that there's not probably another running back out there that may not want to join this program that was waiting for the second portal because they're on a playoff team or they're doing something else or something else is going on, it's going to happen, guys. The second portal is going to be key. It's going to be important. We will know who's on staff by then, and then we can hit the ground running with that second portal even harder than the first portal because we've still got a good 10 to 15 spots to fill in the second portal, guys. We do. We have the space. While other teams have used up their space, by the way. Okay? You look at the top transfer portal teams that have added, 20, 30 guys. They have been adding that much. You go look at how many guys these teams have been adding. We have more space. Those teams are not going to have the same space to go after. I know everybody hates the Oregons and the Ole Misses because they add everyone. The roster limit is there. They're not going to be able to add every single person. Either guys are going to have to leave their program or they're not going to be able to go after some of the big names that come out in the second portal. That's just going to happen. Okay? It's just going to happen. Yep, wait until that spring portals opens. The dogs are coming. Coach Prime did say on day one that he was going to have one of the best coaching staffs assembled, and he just continues to make it better. Each and every year and off season, the people that want to coach with Coach Prime, the line is out the door, guys, with what can happen. Okay? You don't need a top flight running back if your O-line is top flight, and we're going to work on both of those, guys. We're going to work on both of those. This pickup is great because it shows the O-line coach will also be great and a big surprise, which will make the second round of the transfer portal that much crazier to watch. Is it Duke's an Auburn guy? He was an Auburn guy. He now works with a lot of the Colorado guys. If you haven't seen that, strength coach hire was the biggest move after BYU pushed the lines around. I'm sure Prime was not happy. Andrew Swayze is going to be probably the hire of the year for this program. Just wait and see, guys. Just wait and see what he's going to be able to do. What's up, Aurelius? Peace to the family, Sco. This just put us on the whole another level. What do you think about running back Dominic Johnson from TCU and running back Antwain Littleton? I mean, anything's now possible, guys. We're going to be going after a top back once they hit the portal. So we may not need to go after the guys that are still in the portal now. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of time left. This is just happening, guys. Cowboys will draft Shiloh in late round. Jerry will do Coach Prime a solid based on their relationship. So Shiloh's embarrassed while Shadur goes top 5. CU will have a few that hit the portal, but they will bring in a lot of good additions. Watch. Yeah, we're going to have a couple more hit the portal, guys, especially with Andrew Swayze on staff. He's going to push some kids out that are not going to like his coaching style. The talent is there on offense. The offensive scheme needs to be up to par. And all of this is part of that, guys. If you don't think that we're going to be running the ball more and we are adding a coach like Marshall Faulk, Tommy Robinson, into a full-time role on the running backs, the offensive line changes that we're making, the recruiting that we're doing, it's signaling and telling you guys what we just said. Everything is there in front of you guys. Just see the moves that are happening to know what is about to happen with this team. It is not going to be the same offense. It is not going to be the same team as last year. It's not. Yeah, remember, you only have 105 players, and Colorado's fine. We were under that, guys. We did not need to cut to get under. There are teams out there that are still over the cap that are going to need to get rid of kids in the second portal. It's just the case. This news is also good for O-line players too. If there is an O-line guy out there that loves to run block, they see the news and it's probably like that. My specialty, I'm going to see you. Yeah, I get it, King John. I would say so too. You see what they're building again, but I think Matt McChesney is going to be the next domino to fall for Colorado in some role that is going to increase our O-line recruitment. It really is, guys. Facts, Rev, that's why I went silent, because real OGs move that way. That's right, Coach Dre. Once CU shows they can produce a 1,000-yard rusher, then running back recruits will come, not just Faulk. Receivers come because CU is a pass-happy team. They know what to expect. Prime is always 2 steps ahead. Just hold on and enjoy the ride. Have faith. Okay, Brad, we talked about this. Prime wanting more money and more NIL. They're not getting him. That's the problem. I think he bolts next year if he gets the offer, if he doesn't get the Cowboys job. They did not give that a problem. You can't give what you don't have. The point is they hesitated. They didn't say no. Go back and look at that report that came out, guys. Nobody focused on that word. Hesitated. They didn't say straight up, no, kick rocks. They hesitated because they probably agree. And so their response to that is, hold on, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get you what you need. I'm going to go to bat for you and go get you what you need. That's exactly what Matt McChesney said this week when he read the same report. He's inside the building. He's talking to Prime. He knows what's going on as an alumni. He knows that they are going to try and get more money because that is what Coach Prime needs. He doesn't have it right this second, okay? He wants more. So to get more, you have to go get more. And that's what's going to happen, guys. That's what's happening. And the more that things like this happen, the more that that's proof that Coach Prime can do what is needed. We just need to get him more resources and more resources and more resources and more resources, okay? Lots are happening and lots are moving behind the scenes. Matt going to be run coordinator for CU. That'd be a great idea. Or trench coordinator. Make up a title at this point. Speaking on Travis playing players out of his own pocket, that was Travis's own choice, guys. You don't think that if Travis said, I want money too from the team, I'll do it? Coach Prime probably said, hey, Travis, I want to get a better team around you so you can win the Heisman Trophy. I'm going to get you NIL deals with Smack Entertainment that you're going to get enough money. Are you okay with that? Travis could have said no. He could have said no. It wasn't like they lied to him and said, oh, by the way, we're going to pay you $5 million, and then he didn't get the $5 million. Why do people not understand that and act like it's a bad thing that happened that way? For real. Marshall has not coached before, but again, that's why we have Tommy Robinson on staff. The team will definitely be a lot more balanced, especially with the addition of Caden Salter. We've got a running quarterback now, guys. SEC players can't transfer to SEC schools in the spring portal. If they want to play next season, CU will gain more SEC players. Absolutely. People forget about that rule in the spring portal for now. Okay, for now. I can see that rule going away very soon, so we got to take advantage of it in this portal. Cardi Smith and Gooden are top recruits. I think one will start. I would agree on that. Probably Gooden if I'm to guess because he is a massive dude. But Cardi, I wouldn't count him out, guys. He can't because he won't be able to keep his gym, so he will be an analyst. On3 hates Colorado and Prime. That's the same recruiting site that let Dukes go. Do I believe Juju's healthy and throwing now? I don't think he is just yet, guys. If he broke a finger, I would need a doctor to tell us what the time frame is, but I'm sure it's not 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so I'm guessing he probably doesn't throw officially until spring practice. They probably shut him down, say don't throw, work out, and then when spring practice actually starts, that's when we're going to have you throw. Travis had tax write-offs by paying players. I mean, he donated back to the program, that's for sure. Rick George will go to bat for him, but what will the Board of Regents do when they've already seen his financial impact to Boulder University? David, the good news is we've had a lot of turnover with the Board of Regents. One of the people that actually voted against Coach Prime as coach is no longer on the Regents because their term ended. So the more that stuff happens and they see the impact that football brings, we're going to get more support from the Board of Regents than we ever have before. We're going to get more support from the president. The good news, too, that a lot of people don't talk about, by the way, we got a new president this fall. Do you know what that president's ties were to? He comes from a long line of being a president at football schools and knowing the effect and benefit that football brings. So we changed over from a president that had different goals to a president who understands the need to focus on football. So that was a big thing that a lot of people didn't talk about this fall when it came to Colorado. Really did not talk about it. Travis said it wasn't about NIL. It's about the NFL for him. And look what's about to happen. He's about to be a top 5 pick, and he won the Heisman Trophy. So I'm pretty sure that what Coach Prime said would happen did. Do you think he really cares about the NIL like that? I think Matt would be great on staff. He knows how to develop and train, and he knows how to recruit, guys. I don't care what people say. They're like, he can't recruit. The guy works with high schoolers on a daily basis. Juju will be ready for spring practice. Yeah, Coach Trey, that's what I expect. Travis donated to the collective because he wanted to. I don't think that he decided who it went to. Wasn't Shiloh out for 3 games with a broken arm, actually, by the way? Broken arm. Yeah, and he had surgery. I don't think Julian Lewis had surgery. They're letting it heal naturally, which is a better option. Could we see more players using their nil or collective money to build teams, or was Travis' contribution an exception? You might see it, but I don't think we're going to see it very often. There's not many players that are going to come into college with the profile that a Travis or Shador has. Maybe other coaches or ex-players, kids, maybe. But you also got to realize that Coach Travis and Shador have already promised money to the NIL once they get their NFL deals. Travis and Shador both did. Yep. NIL, we get better because Travis and Shador and Shiloh and others, we put Zay put money in last season. Yep. The players will if they believe in Coach Prime. Hageman was a prime plan when he brought him in last year. There's no reason he's in every O-line interview. No, he didn't have a broken finger last year also. Okay. Thanks, Go Bucks. Now you're seeing what others have. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. There's been a plan, guys. There has been a plan since day one of what was supposed to happen with Coach Prime in Colorado, guys. Absolutely. This has been everything he does. He is 5 steps ahead of everybody, by the way. He is 5 steps ahead. So when I said, and when Duke said at the beginning of the portal, like, wait, there's going to be some bigger players. There's going to be some more movement. There's a lot of moving pieces to have that happen, guys. We're a little bit too quick to have immediate gratification, and we need to be patient with what's happening with this team. Look at what happened with Julian Lewis, okay? We talked about this last summer, guys. We were like, Julian Lewis is a lock to come to Colorado. We had USC fans in shambles saying, no way, you're crazy. Go back through the receipts on social media with USC fans that said there was no way Julian Lewis was coming to Colorado. Ever. And then that happened. Go back and look what happened with Jordan Seaton, right? All of this stuff, guys. There is stuff in play for months, for weeks, all of that stuff. We have to be patient for it to unfold. And that's what we're seeing happening on a daily basis is plans that were put in place months ago. Okay, months ago. It must suck to Coach Prime and staff having to deal with that crash out. Matt, the gatekeeper to Colorado's premier O-line recruits. Whatever. That's cool if Faulk comes, but I just need the O-line to do its job. You can have the best everything, but the line has to do its job. Technically, I agree. But we're gonna continue improving there. We really, really are. Rev coming in. I'm so tired of people thinking Coach Prime is a last-minute man. He's years ahead of everybody. That is where it's at, Rev. That is where it's at. Appreciate the super chat. Coming in big time with the $5. Appreciate you. Exactly. Coach Prime is 10 moves ahead of everybody. Why can we not realize that? Why can we not realize that? You think Coach Prime is just, acting? You think Coach Prime didn't probably know that Lode Holt was leaving or that Coach Dancy was leaving? You think that just all of a sudden came out of nowhere and Coach Prime didn't have a plan? No. He fills it with George Hilo. He fills the O-line coaches with who he has on staff, and now he's going and backfilling those positions. with other coaches to be ready for when his coaches get promoted, because that's what he does. He gets coaches promoted. Coach Prime may have 8 toes, but he's out here playing college football in 4D. That's absolutely right. Coach Prime needs the Cherry Creek pipeline ASAP. We did just offer one of the best D linemen in all of Colorado who's at Cherry Creek for next year, guys. It's happening. Prime has a plan. He knows exactly what he's doing. Look how he handles the media when he is interviewed. This man is highly intelligent. He's more than intelligent, guys. This guy plays everybody like a fiddle, including the media. Guys, we're in the middle of the playoffs for the NFL. We're in the middle of the national championship game coming up. And what is every news outlet talking about? Coach Prime going to the NFL. Is he actually going to the NFL? No. But guess what? We're still out there in the media every single day. Coach Prime never leaves the spotlight. He never is out of the mind of everybody in football. And what does that bring to you? It's marketing, baby. It's marketing. Coach Prime has got it all figured out. And we are all just having to wait it out and watch it play out and unfold in real time. And we've got to learn. You've got to learn. If you're a Colorado fan or a Coach Prime fan, you've got to learn to be patient, to not jump to conclusions. Don't crash out, okay? Do not crash out, because there are plans in place. Dr. Carl coming in. All these clowns on the social media platforms are spouting nonsense, thinking they know what Prime is going to do or where he is going, and they don't know a darn thing. Nobody does. Nobody in the media does. Nobody in the media does. LaShonda, I have donated to the collective. Well, not the collective anymore. I have donated to the Buff Club. So trust me, I'm right there. I spend money. I went to games last year. I drove all the way to Colorado to go to games. I went to the spring game, gave all my money there. I'm going to continue giving my money there. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I like Matt's energy and the pipeline. That's what we're looking for. Yes, Sapp is still a coach. He is there. Guys, he's on vacation right now. He does not need to be in the building right now. Coach Sapp does not need to be in the building right now until spring practice. Prime is called Prime because he's been ahead of everything since FSU. They're just spouting BS to create content. Prime has his agenda. He's working on it. And he isn't out talking to any of these folks about what he is doing. He is just dropping stuff on people. I mean, look at it. ESPN's covering him on a daily basis. There's a segment every hour on Coach Prime right now. Marketing 101. Rob's got it. I mean, just look at this. I am a walking billboard for Coach Prime right now. Who's the smartest guy in the world with his brand? Coach Prime. Another Hall of Famer joining him in Boulder. That's 3 on the staff that don't have to chase after jobs for money and higher profiles. For money for program, I mean, we need to get it. Coach Prime's building what Saban started, NFL University. Patient and good things come to those who wait. That's right, Dre. We've talked about it on the stream so many different times. I might be on my own, but I don't like that Coach Mo situation. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't, because I didn't love the fact that on their show, the pregame show with Uncle Neely, Chico, Dukes, they talked about Coach Mo being there for some other meeting, but watching his social media, I don't think it is. I think he's there at UNLV looking into a job. But if that happens, it happens. Andrew Swayze is a legend. It would be unfortunate to lose out on Coach Mo as well. Here's why college football hates on him so much. He has his own media group. They don't have access, and coaches fear him because they know that him being at CU affects their jobs. 100% right, David. Everybody fears what they can't be a part of or what they can't have. Whether it's the other coaches, whether it's the media, your On 3, your Jason Whitlocks. They don't like the fact that they don't get to be a part of this money-making machine that is this marketing juggernaut. Content creators promote the brand. These high school recruiters are watching and believe that. That's the whole point of this. Like, it's a fun thing that we get to do as fans. It builds a brand around CU. People can go on any platform and they can get CU information 24/7. At this point, we might as well have our own network. Like, I know the other teams have their quote unquote like TV networks. Colorado's created our own online presence where we have 24/7 coverage of this team. So anybody can be a part of it at any point. It's a marketing juggernaut. What type of question is that, buddy? Like, huh? Go Bucks. I didn't see what question that was. Buckle up, everybody. Rolling with Ben's got it. They fear what they cannot control. And when the current staff decides to shift elsewhere, it only makes more room for greatness. More Hall of Famers coming soon, 100%. Now, I really quickly want to cover what I wanted to talk about real quick before we end today's stream, guys. I want to talk about something that I think is going under the radar right now. Okay? Look at this news that just came out this week. I don't know if anybody else saw this. So a player at Wisconsin has left the program without entering the transfer portal and technically breaking an agreement that he had with the University of Wisconsin, okay? In a precedent-setting move that may spark landmark legal action among schools, Wisconsin defensive back Xavier Lucas, who signed a revenue share deal, is transferring to Miami, says his attorney. Now, look at what the NCAA stated in a statement to Yahoo, guys. This is where the news comes in, and it's a little scary if I'm being honest. The NCAA rules do not prevent a student athlete from unenrolling from an institution and enrolling at a new institution and competing immediately. Quick question, then why do we have a portal? Why do we have a portal? So what this statement is saying is that you can unenroll at any time from a school and go to another one and not have to sit. So please tell me in the chat, anybody else, does this not look like the transfer portal is meaningless? I tweeted this out and said, we need to get contracts going immediately. They need to get a player agreement, an NCAA player association. We need to get contracts going where the kids get promised their money and it's in writing, and the schools get promises that the kids aren't just going to jump ship at any point. A lot of people in the comments, some other news outlets covered this and said, this is bad because it just means players can be mercenaries. You could leave at any point, even during the year, and jump to another school based on what the NCAA just said. It's not a good thing, by the way, guys. You know, happy news about the coaching staff and all this. This is happening behind the scenes, and it's not good. We need to figure this stuff out, and we need to figure it out fast because it is legitimately going to lead to mercenary players that leave at any point during the year to go to another program. Your school out of the playoffs, you jump ship to go to another playoff team. What's going to stop them if the NCAA is saying that they can do that at the drop of a hat? I'm interested to see if you guys agree with that comment, if this NCAA statement means what I think it means. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Okay? What do you think about this? Just pay players at the end of the season. It's a simple fix. True. What stops you from not paying them all together? The players need a promise in there because they could go through that and you could have a Jalen Rashada situation where he didn't get paid at Florida and had to jump ship. What happens if they go and then they don't get paid? There's a lot of issues right there. A lot of issues. My brother transferred to another school and was a starting quarterback, and the second school he transferred to had to give all of the game one due to not transferring correctly. I just saw that, and the NCAA provided that it has no power, and college football needs a CBA or antitrust laws ASAP. Exactly. That is the NCAA finally saying we have no control over this. No accountability from the players will lead to an absolute cluster. Yes, Angela, that's my point. This is a little bit scary that the NCAA put out this statement. I don't think anybody's covering it or talking about it enough. What this might mean. It truly does not. We need to get contracts. I want the kids to get their money that they're promised, right? But I also want the kids to not be jumping ship at the moment notice and leaving and completely ruining a build that a program's trying to do and the money that they're putting into it. Because what stops a kid from leaving after getting his money for 1 year? That's where a lot of these kids are leaving because they're getting more money elsewhere. We need a little bit of commitment from both sides. We need a commitment that the school's going to pay the money that they promise. We also need a commitment from the kids that they're going to buy in and be a part of a building program so that we can commit that money to them, knowing that that's going to happen, guys. We really need to. Fans tripping, have no idea why Coach Mo was where he was. I don't know either. That's not what happened at Florida. He got there, asked for more money. Oh, I get that. I'm just saying we could see more situations like that occur in a worse spot. I do understand that. But I'm just saying if they were to wait until after the season to get paid, there could be some issues there as well. Yet you have a mercenary player, Deion, who's a mercenary coach. Yet you all love Deion, who is hypocritical. Welcome in, Peter. I'm glad you found the stream. Love you as always, Peter. Love you as always. Look what's going on with Texas wide receiver. He's literally school hopping at the moment, and that's not helping him. He's going to be out of football soon, guys. It's not looking good. The NCAA needs an oversight committee commissioner for NIL deals. It's probably not going to include the NCAA, if we're being honest. Guys, we're probably going to be cutting out the NCAA when it gets to that point. We really are. Coach Prime asking for more NIL money to stop recruiting lower-level linemen. It should be a year-to-year contract, just like the scholarships are, or offer bigger contracts for bigger money. Let the kids decide. Let their agents decide. I would give kids more money if they guaranteed to stay for 3 years. Wouldn't you? As a fan, wouldn't you want to do that and know that that player's not going anywhere so that you can buy in and say, okay, I'm buying in. I'm going to be a fan of this player because he's not leaving my school. There's that too. Have to be a good player to be a mercenary. Oh, yeah. Coach Prime has been on the record that there have to be regulations that are win-win, where players cannot break contracts with school within the year or declare red shirt, etc., yet keep paying them and pay them their rightful money. 100%. Coach Prime knows. What's good, Coach Dre? People just jump to conclusion, man. It's crazy. Rev loves Peter. Rev loves some Peter in the house. How is the NCAA able to drop the hammer on college sports with an iron fist, but can't organize paying players? Well, the fist has gone. The fist is gone. They don't have a fist anymore. The courts have pulled the fist away. The NCAA has no power now, guys. The NCAA has no power to stop anything. They have no policing force. At this point, you might as well figure something out and come to an agreement with all the players. That's what the teams need to do. You know, transfers have kept college football in the news. Sponsors and the NCAA love it. Absolutely. Free agency, it makes teams better. It allows a better competition across the board. It's not just 3 teams that are dominating sports. You got teams all over the country now that can dominate regionally and bring more attention regionally to the sport. It's a win-win. Coach Mo's situation is simple. The team needs to get stronger and mean. He was fine in the beginning, but now CU and Coach Prime needs even more. The only thing that can stop this is the conference themselves have to take the reins and not allow kids to transfer in season. Yes, there needs to be some rules that come up. They're getting ready to cut the NCAA out and have Saban go into the commissioner. Watch what I'm telling y'all. It's in the talks right now. That's what needs to happen. You need to put a guy like Coach Saban in as a commissioner, somebody like that who's going to oversee this, then create contracts, create deals, create a new set of rules that everybody agrees to and signs a piece of paper that then makes it legally binding. That's what the NCAA doesn't have at this point. NCAA has been losing power. The NCAA has been done for a while. It's all playing out in Congress. Yeah, and it just needs to happen quicker. We need to kill it quicker. We can't let this keep happening. It's why we've had the craziness of the last 2 years where it's just been the Wild West. It's going to get worse with this ruling. It's going to get worse. We're asking Coach Prime to win a natty with that budget. Wow. We'll see. We'll see, guys. We will absolutely see. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. 1,200 people in the video for this whole hour. I appreciate you guys so much. It's been an unbelievable stream. Please hit that like if you're in here. Please hit that subscribe. We're almost to 5,000. I mean, we're going to hit that fast. We've been jumping this past week quick. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Hey, there's going to be more breaking news coming our way soon. Just you wait and see. I will be covering it. All of the content creators cover it. You'll have all this information, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with this breaking news or talking about the news for Colorado. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the super chats today. Big Teasy, East Coast Kev, of course, Rev coming in with the $5 for the first time on this channel. Appreciate all three of you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. Now you all want to talk about it after I've been saying it for the longest. Yes, 100%. NFL guy would be great. Saban will not be part of that. That's why he left. He needs to be somewhere that understands the portal. Yeah, Miss Angela, that's it. But a little more, you see the new strength coach working with Shiloh and the others that had something to do with it too. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts there. But thank you guys so much for coming in today. I'm going to head out for now. Again, hit that like on your way out. Thank you guys so much. This has been a lot of fun. I can't believe I get to do this each and every day. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys are good with this. It's just something fun for me to get to do with all of you guys and continue to do with this team. So until the next show, as always, I'm Russ Dornish for Buffs News Weekly. Go Buffs!